The COVID-19 Town Board meeting. We have a couple of board members who are remote calling in and some department heads. I would ask, as we open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, that the board members or anybody on the phone mutes their phone because it gets very garbled. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is Town Clerk Ottenscott on the line?
I am here. Would you like me to call the roll?
Barbara, I would love that.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Here.
Councilman Abbott?
Here.
Councilman Dean?
Here.
Councilwoman Cataldi? Present. Councilman Cahill?
Present.
Attorney Genesi?
Present.
And could we please have the department heads who are present, please announce themselves?
Paul Adams, Director of Finance.
Thank you.
Excellent. And I don't know if you would hear this from them from across the room, but the Department of Public Works Commissioner Jeff Benway is here, and Highway Department Commissioner Joe Herbst is in the room, albeit in a different time zone from where we are. And before we get on to the formal part of the meeting agenda tonight, I will say it's interesting as we enter into really the third month of COVID-19 and we're doing certain phases to reopen. Maybe being an old timer, it's been very frustrating to not be able to do the things that I was brought up on, like shaking someone's hand. And I might get in trouble for this, but I do want to shake some hands of the people that are here tonight. So, Councilman Cahill, I want to shake your hand. Okay.
That was a good one.
Councilman Abbott, do you mind shaking my hand? Thank you very much. All right. So hopefully that was the proper social distancing for shaking hands.
Who's got the tape measure?
Okay. As my father used to say, if we don't laugh, we cry. So, we don't have any board minutes to be considered for approval at this time. Before we get into the three things that are on the agenda, I do want to make a comment that this week is Emergency Services Week. And I just want to give a thanks to all those volunteers who serve and keep the town safe. They haven't skipped a beat during this COVID epidemic. The agencies here in Webster are the Northeast Quadrant Advanced Life Support, Webster Emergency Medical Service, and West Webster Volunteer Fire Department. So, a very, very big thanks from the town board of Webster. Any comments from any of the board members on this?
I absolutely agree. They do an outstanding job, very dedicated to their professions, and we're very fortunate to have them.
All right, covered.
I think you summed it up perfectly, and we certainly owe them a debt of gratitude, and we're blessed to have them.
That we are.
Thank you.
Okay, first order of business. If I remember correctly, Councilman Abbott, did you go over the bills this bi-weekly period?
Yep. I reviewed the bills today and found them in order and authorized, based on what the Director of Finance submitted, I would suggest we pay the bills.
I'll second that motion.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean? Aye. Councilwoman Cataldi? Aye. Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
And one note, I do appreciate the fact that all of the refunds for the overpayment in taxes were grouped in batches this time instead of each individual signing of each individual one. So it only took, instead of 2.5 hours, it took an hour.
Oh my goodness, so last time you had to sign how many checks? They're average like $30,
I think there was like 500 of them.
Oh, Bill. You're a trooper, and thank you, Bud,
Not
for...
done yet.
Oh. Okay,
One more batch.
Okay.
Who's next on that?
yeah.
So
The
you
un-
look me, I'll get through them.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
Patty, you're up next?
I am.
Okay, well, at least you'll get them batched. And I also went over the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance, and I move that those be paid.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Abbott,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi,
I,
Councilman Dean. All right, thank you.
All right, for everybody who has been following along the last couple months, there's been a lot of board activity at workshops and at these regular town board meetings on the Brucker property on Phillips Road that we are, as a town, going to be buying. In fact, I think Attorney Genesi, we've already entered in the contract. But we're going to be making a resolution tonight to amend how the money comes out. And I'd like Finance Director Paul Adams, if you could explain why there is a need for this amendment.
Sure, Tom. $133,407 is actually coming over from the Parkland Trust Fund, and that was a penalty that we received from the West Webster Golf Club when they canceled their open space agreement. So that portion is being transferred from Parkland Trust over to the general fund. And general fund had also received about $33,000 also connected to the open space cancellation and back property taxes. So we're using the 133 plus about another 33 of monies that we had received. And so the balance is going to come from fund balance. And in order to do that, we have to amend the general fund budget for 2020. The actual amended portion, or the portion that's coming from fund balance, is about $80,000 even.
Okay. Attorney Genesi, any other comments on that?
No, it sounds good, and we certainly have the money to do this without doing any sort of bonding or seeking anything further from the taxpayer. So effectively, this is money that we already have.
Again, a non-financial, non-legal statement on this. This is just good for the town of Webster that we're obtaining this land. I think that's irrefutable.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a win-win-win across the board. So, I make a resolution to amend the general fund budget to allow for $228,000 open space land purchase of the Brucker property on Phillips Road.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye.
and that was Councilman Cahill, correct?
Yes.
No, it was Councilman Abbott.
Oh,
Oh, is it?
it was Councilman Abbott.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Abbott,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Dean. All right. Councilwoman Cataldi. Aye. Thank you.
Okay, believe it or not, we're up to our last item on the agenda tonight. I would remind for those watching at home, if you have any questions or comments for the board, you can call in about 5 minutes to 585-872-7011. This next resolution, I think, is best explained by Highway Commissioner Joe Herbst. But where you explain that from, Joe, so everybody can hear?
He's mic'd.
Are you mic'd up? You got a mic?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All
For my singing days.
Well, then let her rip, Joe.
All right, it's pretty simple. It's 140 foot of pipe that actually lies, part of the drainage district for Tall Birch Glen, but it lies within the state right of way. The state, in order for that pipe to be put in, wants perpetual maintenance done by the town. This is not uncommon. If you look at 104, there's a lot of areas through 104 that's Morse code all through from Bay Road all the way to the county line, where we're responsible for different amenities within the jurisdiction. Drainage is just one of them. This 140 feet of pipe is minuscule compared to the 6,874,000 lineal feet of pipe we already have jurisdiction over. So this is a drop in the bucket. It's just a legal thing.
Sure. Attorney Genesi, any comments to add to that, or?
No, I think Superintendent Herbst explained it well.
Yes. I shouldn't have called you commissioner. You're the superintendent, you know.
My dad says I can't correct you.
Well, you know. Well, then based on that, I make a resolution to accept perpetual maintenance responsibility for the 140 foot of drainage system along Webster Road for the lot that corners Tall Birch Glen and Webster Road.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cataldi?
Aye.
Okay. As we wait to see if we get any phone calls, there are two quick things I want to bring up. And at the risk of, being, picked on by my fellow board members who have figured out I'm a verbose Irishman, I can make this brief.
I was trying to help you out, Tom.
I can make this brief. I do want to recognize our Director of Communications, Karen Buck. What she did and continues to do on the facial mass distribution to Webster citizens is really been impressive. She was assigned as the project manager on this when we had the mass distribution events on Saturday, May 9th and Wednesday, May 13th here at the town court building. But she has gone so far and above beyond that compared to the other towns as far as working with the Chamber of Commerce and Barry Howard to get masks for them and the businesses that needed masks. Our senior housing facilities, which as we know, we have a lot of those here in Webster. She's worked with them. I think County Legislator Turp has been very involved in that, just getting them out to them too. And then just taking in what I think is now at about 150 plus people that have called in or emailed in saying, I didn't get masked at that event back on May 9th and May 13th. And Karen has basically coordinated to have those people either come in to get the mask or to also have some of the board members, including Deputy Supervisor Cataldi, hand deliver them out to people's houses. I can tell you from talking to other supervisors, Webster has gone well beyond what other towns have done, and Karen Buck is to thank for that. And she's behind the door right now producing this, because this is her, spare time job, doing these things.
She has done a phenomenal job, and I would say, knowing Karen, for the short-term time that I've known her, she's by far probably one of the most organized people and dedicated people that I know. I mean, this was right up her bailiwick, and she did a phenomenal job, continues to do that. And you can't do what she did if you don't really care about the residents as much as, we all do, and especially Karen. So, hats off to Karen. Much appreciated, Karen.
Any other comments on this, or have we made her blush enough?
I would like to thank Karen for organizing it as well, and I will say that the drop-off on Tuesday when I delivered the masks went very smoothly because of organized. People knew I was coming, so it wasn't a stranger showing up at their door. And that was all because of Karen, and also Kim had a hand in that, helping her make some calls, and together they got it done as far as the delivering. And I want to thank both of them for that.
And thank you for mentioning that, Patty. Kim Doyle in the supervisor's office. I mean, I am, I've only been working with Kim for about 5 months now, but she's fantastic, so, yeah.
I just like to say thank you to both of them for their efforts.
And the last thing I want to bring up, boy, Bill, you're not even, you are close to finishing your water, aren't you? Okay. I would be remiss if I didn't say this, is that we found out in the last week or two that Town Clerk Barbara Ottenscott is retiring in the next... I got some feedback on the phone there. Retiring in the next approximately month to 6 weeks. I've only been working with Barb for about 6 or 7 months because she started helping me really in November and December as I was starting to get ready for January 1st. And she was extremely helpful to me then and extremely helpful to me in January, February. It was she didn't need to do some of those things, and I'm sure that after 25 years of being the town clerk, people that have worked with her have many stories of the great things that she's done. She's going to be missed.
Absolutely.
And Barbara, I wish you were here next to me as we were talking about this, but COVID-19. We are starting the process of vetting candidates to be our new town clerk, but it's going to be a tough act to follow. So
That's for sure.
Thank you. It's only 20 years.
yeah, that's right. 25 years with the town, but 20 years as the clerk. So
Thank you.
You had 15 minutes, like, just so you know, you had it in the
no,
bag. You had it in the bag.
I just got to tell you, John, I'm starting to. What do they call it when nobody ever calls us?
I'd go out in the hall and something with my cell phone and give you a shout.
No, I don't want you calling me or calling us. I mean,
It's nice out.
You know what? You're right. I mean, where people have been bottled up in COVID-19, they're out, and God bless them. It's still sunny, so I'll go around the board, and also Barbara. Any final comments or anything? We'll start in the room here. Bill?
No, we're good.
Oh, come on, Bill. Come on. I figured you had a speech written out that was going to last until 9.
2 seconds, we're out of here.
On behalf of your children, I'm done. You made them a promise.
I did. Well,
If you leave now, you'll make it.
I could, yeah. Well, that line's long, though. Truth be told, I told my younger kids that I would go through the Dairy Queen line across and get them the blizzards, and I'd be home probably by 8:30 because it's a short board meeting. They said, "Nah, Dad, you'll be home by 9:30 or 10." They didn't believe me. Patty or Barry, anything to say?
No, we'll talk later.
Yep.
I don't have anything to add either.
And Barbara?
And the only thing I have to add is, thank you, Councilman Abbott, for getting all of those checks approved. That's the second batch of refund checks that I know in an account of over 300, and we probably have another couple hundred to go, which will be the next round. And we will be collecting taxes up until May 31st, which falls on a Sunday. So if you pay your bill to us after June 1st, it will go directly to the County of Monroe. So please call us if you don't know how much to pay, 872-7064. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Let's get everybody home early tonight. This meeting is adjourned.